Hi, and welcome to Rick's Corner. I had some thoughts about overtraining because people write to me all the time, many of you viewers, and then you tell me you're training twice a week, once a week, which is enough, which isn't enough. Are you overtraining? And I find that most people who write to me are overtraining. They're hitting, 20, 25 sets per body part twice a week. When bodybuilding started out back in the 40s and 50s, it was common to train 3 times a week. Each body part, I think 3 sets, 10 reps, 3 times a week. So if you did chest, you did bench presses, you did inclines, you did flies. So you've got, 3 sets, you got 9 sets total. All right, that worked. It worked for a lot of the greats like Steve Reeves and all these bodybuilders back then. They weren't doing any drugs or many drugs, I think, at all back in the 40s and 50s. It was limited. But they had a good diet and they trained hard. I mean, hard. But 3 times a week was not a lot of sets. So they would go a heavy day, a medium day, and they'd do a light day and go back to a heavy day. They would stagger it out so they had 1 heavy day a week, which gives you time to rest and get your strength back. Now, I'm not saying do it today. However, it's still the human body, and the body's the same as it was back in the 40s and 50s. We still function with the heart and lungs and kidneys and everything else like we did then. So people say, well, what you did then, would it work today? Sure, it would work. Why? Your body hasn't changed. You know, you're still functioning like a human being. But you got to find out what works for you. Now, when I started training, I did 3 times a week. I made great gains, just great gains in a short period of time. I would take it every other day off and do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Probably do half the body or 3/4 of the body and then a quarter and then pick it up again. It's hard to do because you have to do almost the whole body in a workout, and it's a lot to ask for. So it had been broken down when I moved to Venice in '69 with Arnold and Draper and these guys. We're doing all twice a week. So they were doing, for example, chest and back on Monday, shoulders and arms on Tuesday, and Wednesday was legs. Now, you could pick that up on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, or you could take a day off and then pick it up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then take a day off and pick it up Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So you get that day off in between there somewhere. Twice a week seemed to work really well because you had a 2-day lag period, or 3 days sometimes, in between the body part. Now, I know in your mind, when you look in the mirror and you take a day off, you think, oh my God, I'm losing all my muscle. But you're really not, because when you're training is what you're tearing down, and when you're resting is what you're building up. It's really hard to realize that sometimes. It's really, really hard. Now, the once a week training, I don't think is enough. I wouldn't want to hit my arms once every week, or chest once every week. I just feel like there's so much time in between that it's not doing me any good. Now, some people say they like it. If it works for them, great. You got to find your own level in what you do. Recently, I had a bug, a sinus infection. I'm not sure what it was, but I took a few days off and I had rested. I got a couple of really good nights sleep, and I took 2 afternoon naps for an hour each. I never do that. I go to the gym sick, which is stupid. I went into the train after those 2 days and the resting, and I got such a pump on my arms, it was like I first started working out again, which led me to believe the rest period really helps. I wasn't overtraining, I was resting. Now that makes a huge difference. All right, so you're 20 years old and you're going to train hard, you got all fired up, you're going to get big, you're going to eat a lot, go heavy. This is what you do when you're 20. This is what you do in your early 30s. When you start reaching later on, you start to get joint pain, you start getting muscle injury, tendon tears, and you realize you've been training too heavy and too hard and no time off. Take that into consideration, because all the years I've trained, 50 years, my shoulder, I can show you an x-ray, actually I'll pop it up here, it's completely thrashed with arthritis and bone chips and everything else. My doctor says, I don't know how you use your arms. Well, I train, and that way I can work through the problems that I have in training. My knee is bone on bone, squats, wrestling, really tore it up. You see the x-ray here, I need a knee replacement. I still train legs twice a week. I can't squat, but I'll do leg press, leg extensions, just to keep the muscles around it in shape. But I will get the knee replacement in January, and I'll take time off. There again is a rest period, trying to regroup and rebuild what I've torn down. Once it's healed, I can come back and start doing squats light again and build myself up. As I reach an older age, now with my age, which is up there, I still recover okay, but I think I need more time off. I think I need less sets and a little bit more protein, which I've been doing, and I see a difference right away. I put on 10 pounds in 2 weeks just by cutting back a little bit and training a little bit different and eating a little bit better food. So you have to fit what fits you. If you can do twice a week and you split it up, it works great. If you want to try 3 times a week, I think it's a bit much now. I don't know. I wouldn't never do that again. It's just too hard on me. If you're 20 years old, you can handle it. But once a week's not enough. I don't think it's enough to really make some good gains on, unless you're a genetic freak and you can do well on it. So I wanted to share that with you. You can reschedule your own training program the way it suits you. Don't overtrain. Symptoms of overtraining are sore all the time, joint pain, tired. You don't feel like training. You go in there and say, oh man, what am I doing here today? You get a headache and you just don't feel listless. You just don't want to do anything. Those are signs of overtraining, and also dehydration. So make sure you drink plenty of water too. I'm going to get into Rick's Corner in the future about opposing muscle groups, because I think that's something you guys need to know. They work well together. I want to go into detail about it, but not today. I also have Steve Austin coming back on soon. In fact, he should be here tomorrow, so I'll tape that show. And then somebody asked me about donations for Rick's Corner. Rick's Corner is free. You guys don't pay for it. I make no money on this at all. I have operating expenses, cameras, lights, people coming and put out food for them so they can be enjoyable on the show. Out of my own pocket. I'm not asking for donations, but some people have sent some in, which I thought was really nice of them. It's not mandatory. If you feel like sending $1, $5, $10, it doesn't matter. One guy sent me $100, you can imagine that. Go to rickscorner.com and just click on the donate button. Simple as that. I appreciate anything you want to stick towards it. I want to keep bringing you shows in the future, more guests, big names, and share my world that I grew up in bodybuilding with you so you can be a better you tomorrow. And thank you for watching Rick's Corner, and stay tuned for more. I got some good stuff coming your way.
It's rickdrasin.com. He is the equalizer, baby. See you next time.